Hello, welcome back to SimonsRants. I'm Simon, and today I'm going to be giving my first thoughts on the worst movie I've seen this year, Transformers: The Rise of the Beasts, or whatever the hell it's called.
Well, that was a movie.
So, for context, I haven't watched any Transformers movies in a while. I was a huge fan of Transformers back in the 2000s when the first Michael Bay film came out. Really enjoyed that movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I still have fond memories of it. Hated all of the sequels. Haven't seen the Bumblebee movie, which is considered to be, I think, the best movie since the first one. Haven't seen it yet, so don't have an opinion on it, although I've heard it's much better. Only reason I really gave this movie a chance, other than the fact that supposedly the series has gotten better since Michael Bay has left, not surprising, is that this movie boasted having Scourge, my favorite Transformer, in it. Now, I did do some research on this, so I can't be too pissed, but apparently there were multiple versions of Scourge. The Scourge I grew up with was so much goddamn better than the version that this is based on, apparently. Apparently the original version of Scourge was what this version of Scourge was, which is just a lackey. No personality, nothing, lackey. A mercenary for hire, essentially, and that's what he is in this. The basic plot of this, and I'm going to get into spoilers, so if you care for whatever reason, click away now. I don't give a shit. Apparently, so there's this Galactus type motherfucker. Essentially, this is the same exact plot from Fantastic Four 2, where there's this big old cloud thing, except for it's a robot, coming to eat the Earth, and Scourge is getting him the key to, you know, help him eat Earth, whatever. And so he's just a lackey. He has no personality. The coolest thing about him is when he kills somebody, he'll take their little pin thing, you know, the patch, the thing that shows whether they're you know, an Autobot, a Decepticon, whatever, and he'll put it on his shoulder. I thought that was cool. It was a nice little addition. I don't think that was in any previous versions of the character. I don't know. But anyway, I was excited to see Scourge, and what I got was not, in my mind, Scourge. To me, Scourge is, first of all, a dragon. He transforms into a dragon. This guy transformed one time in the whole goddamn movie, and he transformed into a truck of some sort. Now, you may be like, well, why did you expect him to be the dragon version? Well, the whole thing was Rise of the Beasts, and in the version where he was a dragon, it was because he was on the planet where all the Transformers transformed into other animals. Kind of like the whole point of this movie, so why wouldn't you have Scourge be a dragon in this? God damn it. Yeah, and also, I just was looking a little bit. I think he was a plane in the original, not a truck. Anyway, so I don't know why it was a truck, but anyway, they barely transform or do much at all in their non-humanoid forms, which is really disappointing because, I mean, there was still Optimus Primal and other animal, not Autobots, but Transformers, and there's a big fight at the end, and you're like, oh, finally we get to see them in action, and they're humanoid versions for the majority of the fight. And it's like, why? That's so lame. I wanted to see the freaking cheetah do some cool stuff. I wanted to see the gorilla be a gorilla. Like, that's the whole point, you know, and the human version of the gorilla guy is just a slightly less cool. Like, I mean, a human and a gorilla are pretty similar, so why would you even change? There's no reason to change back to the human. But anyway, so he wasn't Scourge. Scourge was supposed to be a cool motherfucker. The whole plot in the version I grew up on, which I think was like the Transformers Cybertron or something, I'm not sure, it was whatever version was running in the early to mid 2000s. That version, he was on this jungle planet of these jungle animal based Transformers, and the whole planet was in like disarray, and, you know, factions constantly fighting against each other. So then he decided that he was going to be the true leader that would kind of kick everybody's butts, and then he would become the king to force peace by violence, through violence. And so he was treated as the bad guy, but in my mind, I'm like, he's the good guy. This whole planet is constantly at war with each other, and he did one final war to control everything and say, shut up, we'll have order and law. And so even though he was a bad guy, he was a pretty cool bad guy, because he kind of agreed with him, and also he transformed into a dragon. And Peter Dinklage was voicing him this, so I was like, he's a great actor. I'm excited to hear what he'll do with the character, but they did nothing with the character, and Peter Dinklage kind of like, I guess, just phoned it in. He sounded terrible. He didn't sound terrible. He just didn't sound good. I'm sorry, Peter Dinklage, but it wasn't good. The whole movie was pretty garbage. Just total underutilization of cool characters, like, and not just Scourge, like all of them being underutilized. I know it's been a common thread, a common thing that people have said about Optimus Prime in these movies, but he's not Optimus Prime. He acts nothing like him. Optimus Prime is very noble, very non-violent. He uses violence as a last resort. He doesn't murder people. This version of Optimus Prime loves killing people, just loves doing it. He loves tearing people's heads off and stabbing them through the face. Like, he loves that shit. Also, there's two human characters. Elena is the girl character, and Noah was the guy, and he was fine. There was nothing really wrong with him. Didn't really care about him at all, but that's kind of how it usually goes in Transformers movies and TV shows when there's humans involved. They're kind of just there to be a human, and that's their whole appeal. I mean, Shia LaBeouf was a bit of a more likable or more interesting main character. He was kind of a lovable idiot goofball that I enjoyed. That's kind of part of why I enjoyed the first one so much more. Also, the writing was just so much better. This character, however, take her or leave him, I didn't really care. At first, the Elena character, she was actually interesting at first. I kind of liked her at first, and then she devolved into just this annoying, screaming character. She was just constantly shouting every line she had for the second half of the movie. Everything she said was demeaning and stupid. Like, just everything she said was supposed to be, I guess, funny, but it wasn't. It was just her being a jerk. Like, they're running away from bad guys, and he's been given this gun that he doesn't know what it is, but he was given it by one of the Transformers, and then he shoots, and she goes, oh, you had a gun this whole time? And also, by the way, they're being cornered by a Decepticon, or not a Decepticon, one of the bad guys, and she pushes him in front and goes, do something. What the fuck is he supposed to do? It's a giant robot, killer robot. What is he supposed to do? Then again, she just stabs one later and kills it, so I mean, I guess they weren't that hard to beat, but anyway, and she's just so annoying and so stupid, and I hated her character by the end of the movie. Pete Davidson plays Mirage in this, one of the good guy Transformers, and was by far the most likable and interesting thing about this movie, unfortunately. I mean, Pete Davidson is fine and all, but he just shouldn't be the best thing about a Transformers movie, you know? He had some pretty good jokes, he also had some pretty bad jokes. Not nearly enough references to the fact that it was 94, and Jim Carrey is blown up and made 3 of the greatest comedies of all time in 1 year. He made one reference to that, and I was like, well, you should have kept going with that. That would have been a good thread to make. I mean, we were constantly referencing the fact that it was 94 anyway. It got really obnoxious how many times we had to reference, it's 94, guys, in case you missed it. Yeah, it was a bad movie. It was a very bad movie. Like I said, the worst movie I've seen so far this year. Granted, I haven't seen like The Little Mermaid yet. That might be worse. There's probably worse movies that have come out this year, but it's the worst one I've seen so far. And just disappointing. Like, I mean, I knew I should have known it was going to be this bad, but like, I just was so excited to see Scourge. Like, this is the movie that I had been wanting since the first Transformers movie came out in like 2007 or whenever that was. I remember that movie coming out and being like, oh, I hope Scourge is in it. And then they're in the desert and there was like a scorpion thing or something that looked kind of like it was a dragon. I was like, oh, is that Scourge? Oh, dang it, it's not Scourge. And ever since then, I was like, please put Scourge in, please put Scourge in. And then I remember they announced Rise of the Beast, and like, oh my god, this is the whole Scourge thing. No, it wasn't. Well, it was, but it wasn't. Also, in the episodes where they meet Scourge, he beats the shit out of Optimus Prime the first time they fight, which is true to the movie. That's what happened in the movie. But in the TV show, then how they end up beating him is Optimus Prime and the leader of the animal good guy robots combined together and make a super transformer, and that's how they beat him. How cool would that have been to see in this movie? Why didn't we do that? I know the lion guy wasn't in this, but we could have used the gorilla guy instead. They essentially played the same role. Why not do that? It's not like you didn't have a cool thing you could have done here. We just did the lamest version of the story instead. I get it. I'm a nerd. I like Transformers. The original stuff, the old stuff, maybe not the original, but like my generation stuff, I loved that shit. I was so deceived into being excited for this god-awful movie. I shouldn't have been. Like, I was sitting there for the first half hour just like smiling ear to ear. I was so excited because I was like, oh, there's Scourge. There he is. He hasn't transformed yet, but he's gonna. And look at these main characters. They're forgettable humans. That's like the TV show. And oh, look, the Autobots are telling jokes. That's like the TV show. I was so excited for the first half hour of this movie. And then just slowly I was like, oh no, they're not doing the right thing. And this is terrible. This sucks. And the plot doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't. And the dialogue is stupid. And the characters are annoying. And the action is kind of boring. Oh no, everything about this movie sucks. Why was I excited? I don't know. I'm naive. I'm stupid. Don't be like me. Don't go see it. Don't waste your time. Also, oh, by the way, at the end of the movie, the main character guy gets offered a job at freaking G.I. Joe? What the fuck is this? Why are we combining G.I. Joe and Transformers, bro? Oh my god. I'm so mad I saw this movie alone. I needed somebody to laugh with me because I was cracking up at that. That was so dumb. Such a bad twist. So stupid. Before they explain what the key is, they say that there's a key, which was a big plot point of that same series that I was talking about. They had keys. I know it was just a reason to sell toys, but they had keys that would come with the Transformers that you would stick in them and they would get an extra superpower. They could transform a little extra, do a little extra, whatever. And that was like the whole point of that series. Why aren't you focusing on me? Are you bored? I understand. You don't want to be here. I don't want to be here either. Why are we doing this though? Anyway, I don't know why that happened. I just like, but then no, it wasn't even that. It was just a key to, you know, another one of those beacons. You know how every Transformers movie, every goddamn disaster movie, every stupid movie has a giant light beam going up into the sky, from freaking Avengers to Suicide Squad to Transformers to freaking every movie ever has a beam. They lit the beam. They had to do it. That's all the key was. It was just a way to just get places. I just wanted my childhood. I just wanted, for a minute there, I thought I had my childhood. It was gonna be fun. But no, I just watched one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The thing is, if I'm being honest, it's no worse than any of the other Transformers movies, really. And they're all just pretty basic, pretty bad, other than the first one, and maybe the Bumblebee one. Like I said, I haven't seen it. It's not really offensive, it's just bad, whatever, who cares? Not worthy of a 3, which is what I'm rating it. Why am I blurry again? Why does this keep happening? The reason that I would give this movie a 3 instead of like a 5 is really just the Scourge thing. Like, they fucked it up. They did a horrible representation of that, and that pisses me off. So I'm giving it a 3. I hated this movie. I wish I never saw it. It ruined my night. But what did you guys think? If you saw it, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new here. Also, screw this camera. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it's too dark. I don't know. I've never had this problem before. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.